Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to buy a domain name. And as you can see, I'm on a website here called SiteGround.com, and these are actually the people who host my websites. Now, there are other web hosts that you can go for. You can go to Bluehost or even GoDaddy. But so far, my best experience has been with these guys at SiteGround. They don't have as many clients as the other two, and that's a good thing because it's easier for them to respond to any issues, and they generally are very quick whenever there are issues with my website. The customer service has been impeccable so far, so I will definitely recommend them if you're looking for a web host. Now, from the home page, I can search for a domain name down here. I can type, let's see, CNN.com. Now, obviously, that's already been taken, but, let's just see what happens if we type CNN.com. Okay, maybe CNN.com expired this morning, who knows? Okay, so it tells you straight up that, sorry, this domain name is not available. But now and as you can see, you have other options, but let's type something very obscure. Police.com. I'll be amazed if this is available. I'm just gonna press enter. Let's see, proceed. Let's search for police.com. And remarkably, it is not available. Can you imagine? Someone actually has police.com. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna just type this in here. I'm pretty sure that this is not taken. I'm 100% sure this is not taken. Okay, so police 5675 blah 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 is available. So once you have your domain name that is available, you can click enter, and then you will come down to this page where you have different hosting packages. Now, if you're looking just to host one single website, then obviously startup is what you should go for. If you're looking to have multiple websites on your hosting package, then you want to go with the Grow Big. This is my package that I actually use because I have a number of websites with them. But if you're looking to go for just one website, simply go to startup. While Go Gig is, you probably are not going to need this unless your website becomes really super big. Like if it becomes very, very important and you have like 100,000 people visiting your website every day, you can always upgrade to this package. So from here, you can just click on order now. And from here, you'll be asked to complete this information. Your contact information will be there. Put in your credit card details as well to buy your domain name. Now here it says $95, but that is because by default, SiteGround includes some other packages which you may or may not need. So domain privacy, for example, you don't really need that, so I'm going to uncheck that. And as you can see, the price has dropped to $83 now. I'm going to come back here for premium support. I don't need that. Basic backup service, I don't need that either. They will do backups for you even if you don't take this. So high quality monitoring, no. And as you can see, everything now is down to just $47. And with this, you can buy your domain name and have the hosting package for a full month. So from here, once you fill all this information, you can then go ahead and click submit order, and SiteGround will send you an email with your details, and from there you can now start to log into your cPanel, your back end. You will simply come down here to your login information right here, put your username and password, click on login, and you will be taken to your cPanel, and that's from where we're going to install WordPress. So if you're having any difficulties, or if you already have a domain name and you're simply looking to install WordPress, there are two things you can do. You can either contact your web host and tell them that you would like to install WordPress, and they can guide you on that. Or you can always send me a message and just tell me what you want to do, and I'll be sure to help you install WordPress on your website. So join me in the next class where we'll actually look at how to install WordPress. Thank you for watching. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to install WordPress. Obviously, I mean, we can't build a website using WordPress without installing WordPress in the first place now, can we? So I have my my URL right here, uefablogger.com. That's my domain name, and I am going to install WordPress. Now, there are numerous ways of installing WordPress, but I'm going to go with what I feel is the easiest of them all. Now, I'm in the back end of my control panel. This is my control panel provided to me by my hosting company, and everyone, you should have this actually. It depends on where you got your own domain name from, even if it's from Bluehost or GoDaddy or SiteGround, which is what I use. You will have a page that looks like this, and in case you're having trouble getting into your cPanel, simply contact your web host, and I'm sure they will be able to direct you. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to Softaculous right here, which is the software I'm going to use to install WordPress. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose WordPress, and I'm going to click on Install. Now here I am going to choose the website that I want to install it on. I have numerous websites here, but I'm going to click on UEFA Blogger, which is the site where I want to install WordPress in. Now, as for the protocol, you can leave it as it is right here, HTTP. If you are working with an e-commerce store and you wanted additional security, then you would go with HTTPS. HTTP www is not necessary. You can stick with just a simple HTTP, which is what I use most of the time. Now, as for the directory, I advise you to leave this as it is. As for the database name, depending on whether you're a developer or you're a beginner, you may want to change this to something else. Personally, for me, I'm just going to change this to UFR for me to easily identify the database table when I'm working with SQL. Okay, so the database name is UFR. The table prefix, I'm just going to change this as well to UFR. And now, site name and site description, you can leave this for now. We can always change this once we've installed WordPress. Now, multi-site refers to a situation where your website will be part of other websites. So it will be like a group of websites that share the same themes or the same plugins. Oh, I'm sorry for that sound. I think there was an emergency van outside making that noise. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, what I was talking about multi-site. Multi-site refers to a situation where your one website is like a group of other websites combined together. You will share similar resources, share similar plugins and themes and things like that. But for now, our WordPress site is a standalone site, so I am not going to take this. Now, the admin username is what you would use to log into the backend of WordPress, which would allow you to manage your website. So I'm just going to add my name, Alex, and I'm going to put a password that I know. Let's see. I'm just going to hide this for now. Okay. Now, as for the admin email, I'm just going to keep it at admin@uefablogger.com. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, there are some plugins that you can choose to install. I would always recommend that you have this installed, the Limit Login Attempts plugin. It's very useful, and we actually talk about this plugin later on in the course. But for now, I would like you to tick that and have that just in case you don't see any of this. This could depend on your web hosting company, so don't worry if you don't have this plugin shown right here. It depends on your web hosting company. Sometimes different hosting companies will offer different plugins to install alongside your WordPress installation. So I'm just going to tick this for now, and there is another one here called Clef. This is actually the first time I'm seeing this, but I'm just going to leave this unchecked. So I'm just going to click on Install, and as you can see, this may take up to 3 or 4 minutes, depending on what happens. If everything goes according to plan, this shouldn't take too long to install. Okay, and well, that's it. So WordPress has been installed. So I'm just going to come down here to my website. I'm going to click on refresh, and we have WordPress installed. So that's pretty much it. So that's it. I mean, if you have any other questions, I know this can be a bit tricky, so feel free to send me a message, and we can always work together. I can always help you to install WordPress on your site. But alternatively, you could always contact your web hosting company. I'm sure they will be more than happy to help you install WordPress. Installing WordPress is very easy, as I've shown you. But again, if you're having issues, do not be afraid to reach out. So join me in the next class, where we will talk about how to log into your backend, and we shall proceed from there. One thing to note though is that this particular domain name that we've installed, uefablogger.com, we will be working with this domain name much later in the 8th section of this course. We will be using this domain name, but in the upcoming classes we shall be using a different domain name, so I'm just putting it out there for you to take note of. So I will see you in the next class. Right, so now that we've installed WordPress on our website, it's time to take a look at the back end of WordPress. The back end is also known as the administrative section of your website. It's where you can make all major changes that you want to your WordPress website. So in order to access the back end, what you need to do is to add a / at the end of your URL, and then add the words WP-admin. Okay, this is used for accessing the back end of WordPress. I'm going to click on enter, and now you have your username and your password, and this is the username and password that you used to install WordPress. So I'm going to use my username and my password, which is extremely strong. I'm going to show you. And oops, I'm sorry, I mistyped my password. That's nice. Enter, and okay, so now we have access to the back end. Now this is the very first thing you will see. You'll see the dashboard. The dashboard is simply a way of looking at your website at a glance, sort of. Down here you can see I have my WordPress 4.2.2. That's the version of WordPress I'm running, and it has the 2015 theme currently installed. I have one post and I have 2 pages, and there's some other news from the WordPress community. I have a new comment on my post. This is obviously a spam message. I can already see it's a spam message. Now do not be concerned if your backend doesn't look exactly like this, okay? Because my own installation here is not exactly a fresh installation. I've had this website for quite some time now, so do not be concerned if you have 0 comments or 0 updates or things like that, okay? Yours should be 0, if anything. And so with updates, if you click on updates, you might see that you have some themes that need to be updated. You might have some plugins that may need to be updated. We'll talk more about plugins and themes later on. Post is where you'll add new WordPress posts to your site. Media is where you can manage your images, your videos, your files, and so on and so forth. Pages is just like posts. You can create new pages here. Comments is where you can manage your comments to your website. You can either choose to approve a message or reply or spam or thrash it. Appearance deals with how you can change the look of your website, the look and feel. You can change the color, change the font style, the font sizes, add a logo, add a 5 icon, and so on and so forth. Plugins, we'll talk more about plugins later on. Users, this is where you can create or add new users to your WordPress site as you please. Tools is, well, this is where you can perform some advanced functions such as importing or exporting files from one WordPress site to the other. We'll talk more about that later on in the future as well. And of course the settings page, we'll talk more about this a little bit later on in the future as well. This is where you can make changes to how people can make comments to your website, how you want your posts or your pages to be displayed. But this is typically an introduction to your back end. This is just what you will see whenever you log into your back end. So join me in the next class where we will start to go into more detail of how you can create content and manage your WordPress website. Thank you.